Thank you for coming back to Just How Hidell's the Racist. Okay, so I'm still in this series, California Commits Hate Crimes. But today I'm going to talk about reparations because reparations to descendants of chattel slavery, reparations to descendants of chattel slavery. I'm a Negro. I consider myself a Negro. People call themselves Black, um, Negro, Black American. Some people say African American, but I'm a Negro, Black American. And so there was an initiative for California Reparations Task Force. I want to talk about that. Before I do, you guys, I'm gonna do the my affirmation. And you guys, it's like, what time is it? Shoot, it's 2:54. I'm doing better, y'all. I do not sleep. Like I'm struggling. Let me not sit here and cry. But I'm making my video before 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which is a good thing. Okay, I struggle so hard throughout the day. And I'm determined, you guys. I've been praying and meditating and really trying to be grounded because I really want to get justice. I really want to demonstrate that California is the most anti-Black state in this country, and I want to get legislation to protect Negro people, Black Americans, however, indigenous people, descendants of chattel slavery, however you want, melanated people, however you want to name it. I'm a Negro. That's how I define myself. We are the same bloodline. But let me do the affirmation. I effectively communicate my story to those who have concerns. Sharing my story will help facilitate my healing. My story is reaching powerful people who have the knowledge and ability to help me obtain justice. I'm a Black woman descendant of chattel slavery. The ancestors will help me improve life for Black Negro people. I will help Black Americans finally live in harmony. You guys, that is so deep for me because I'm not going to get too deep in this because I don't want this video to be too long. I'm about to go to LA so I can give out the notices about this video. But listen, I lost my train of thought already. This is important to me. I want justice for me, of course, but oh my God, I just get so sick inside when I think about it. I'm scared of what these people are doing to Black Americans in the state of California. California is literally the most anti-Black state in this country. If you live in California, you may not be aware of that. You may think America has racist tendencies. What we endure here in California is common all amongst the rest of the country. You guys, it's not. And I'm going to demonstrate that to you guys beyond a reasonable doubt. This white male who I was married to for over 20 years, he knew how racist California was, more so than I, because he's a white man. So they talk to him and are openly racist. You know, I told you one time, you know, he's a therapist. I told you one time he worked for at-risk youth. For many years, he worked with boys at risk. He worked with a population of young men who were at risk, which, you know, a large population is minority boys. And one time he told me that psychiatrist, this is a psychiatrist who's being paid to help these boys. A white psychiatrist said to him, he made a joke about the boys not having a father. And at that time, the guy I was married to told him, so he says to me, but now that I think about it, he's such a coward, he's probably lying. He told me that he let the guy know that his wife was Black and his child was Black. But knowing that coward, he just would have went along and get along. I don't even know. At this point, he's done so much to me. I was blinded, clearly. But listen, let me say this to you. I want to talk about reparations. Okay, reparations. Guys, I'm on this old computer and I am so worried about it not working properly. Everything bad that can happen, possibly happen, is happening. God is testing me, and to the Most High, I'm gonna pass this test. I'm gonna endure all the stuff you keep throwing at me. But listen, I want to talk to you about this reparations. So First of all, I want you to do your homework, okay? I want you not to assume anything that I say or what you're being told in the news or just in any way that you get it. I want to first begin by discussing what reparations is. Um, there's five pillars of reparations, and you know what? It's a few things on here. I googled it. The five pillars of reparations is um, non-repetition, restitution, compensation, satisfaction, and rehabilitation. Okay, those are the five pillars of reparations. Okay, the thing that's happening in Chicago is not reparations. I was born in Asheville, North Carolina. I was born in a city that was harmed, uh, the hurricane hit. I think the most hardest, or in that region. Asheville had a reparations thing. It's not reparations. Reparations include those five key components: non-repetition to ensure it doesn't happen what has happened to us, restitution, compensation, satisfaction, and rehabilitation. It's some other things on here I want to say to you right quickly again about this reparation, the concept of reparations. Truth, justice, reparations, memorialization. Me, my bad, we can't read. Memorialization and guaranteed of non-concurrence, non-reoccurrence. So what my goal is to get legislation to ensure that the harms that Negro people, descendants of chattel slavery, has endured since they brought us here, that it is not, it is stopped. Okay? Reparations, five pillar, is non-repetition to ensure that it doesn't happen again. Okay? Um, memorialization, I'm not saying this right, memorialization is so it's not forgotten, like the Holocaust, to ensure that the harms that was done to the descendants of chattel slavery, Negro people, Black Americans, to ensure it's not done again. And so let me say this to you. I started Reunite Sandy Speaks, I think like 2021. Reunite Sandy Speaks is a reigniting of the original Sandy Speaks by Sandra Bland, who was murdered, okay, allegedly. I'm going to put the thing about Sandra Bland in the link if you don't know who Sandra Bland is. But I started documenting abuse of Negro people, I think in like 2021, whenever I started Reunite Sandy Speaks. And when COVID happened, I might be wrong with the date, you guys. Remember, I've got cognitive issues. But when they passed an Asian bill, y'all, I was upset. I was mad. Okay. I'm a Black person. I'm a Negro person. And just like any other person, I'm competitive. Okay. And this is not racist. This is not prejudice. I want my people to excel and do as well as anyone else. I don't want them to be seen as beneath, not good as, not smart as, not capable as another group. But I was so mad when they had the knowing, the knowledge, discernment to document the harm of Asian people for 1 year. And they got their legislation. And I had already been doing Reunite Sandy Speaks. That's my goal. My goal is to show that California is anti-Black beyond a reasonable doubt. That California is aware of the anti-Black consciousness, the anti-Black treatment, the oppression, the I try to think of the words of the harm, and my brain won't even let it come because it's so painful. How we are the disparaging. See, I can't even. The words won't even come to me. So I started doing Reunite Sandy Speaks long before the Asian bill, and I had the same concept, and my reasoning was the same. Okay. So I think during 2022, I used to be online in a Black space. I think it's sometimes considered reparations space. And I learned about reparations. And one of the things that struck me the most was the non-repetition. And non-repetition only can occur through legislation. It has to be laws on the books. Okay? Reunite Sandy Speaks was before I wanted to do an amendment to the 14th Amendment. If you go my videos and you look, everything I'm saying years ago, it's what my intentions were. My intentions were to demonstrate how Black people are harmed in this country, how America has broken their promise of the 14th Amendment that we are equal and we're not free, that there needs to be an update to the 14th Amendment. And I really wanted to name it the Elijah McClain civil rights suit, because this was during 2020 when they murdered Elijah McClain. Elijah McClain's story didn't become news until they killed George Floyd. Anyway, let me not go too deep in this. I'm not getting the weeds. So anyway, I'm in this space and I'm learning about reparations. And I'm like, this is a good thing. Let me get involved in this. Let me learn about this. Of course we want restitution. Of course we want to be held, made whole financially, which is very important. But you guys, from the financials is important, but the legislation, the non-reoccurrence, is priority to me. See, I lived above average. I lived at a above middle class lifestyle, and the state of California stole everything from me because they could. Okay, so you can get restitution via reparations, but they can steal it from you again if there's not proper laws on the books to protect us. I don't want to go too far, and maybe I'll talk about this further in other videos, but Edward Bloom is using the 14th Amendment, our 14th Amendment. And Edward Bloom, if you're listening to this, you guys, I'm trying to get Edward Bloom to defend me, to represent me. I've emailed him, and he emailed me back. He's not an attorney. Well, Edward Bloom, I plan on soliciting you for protection, for help. And I hope you're not going to turn me down because I'm a Black woman. That would be unconstitutional, Edward Bloom, wouldn't it? Anyway, let me get back to what we're talking about. We're talking about reparations. So I start getting involved in the reparations space. The co-chair is Camilla Moore. And then there's CJAC, is a guy named Chris. So I was actively engaged with these people. I had their back. I was rocking with them. Okay? Then I asked her, how can I share my story with them? Right? Let me stop for a minute. I'm going to move on. I'm going on. Okay? Okay. So Camilla Moore emailed me the email to submit my story to the Reparations Task Force. I'm gonna put it in here. I'm gonna find the she DM'd me. Since this time, you guys, Camilla Moore, I don't know if I'm saying her name right. She has blocked me, unblocked me, and blocked me again. I think I'm unblocked now. Okay. And you guys, I don't want to get emotional because it's gonna hurt my feelings because I had her back and I really like this girl. I was like, when I see strong Black women, smart, intelligent women doing big shit, they steal my heart. Okay. And y'all, I'm a pushover. You're going to find that out about me. Like, I talk a big game, but I am a pushover. I'm a Cancer. And I live with my heart on my sleeve. And forgive me, you guys, this is your first time watching this video. I'm suffering from cognitive issues from depression and anxiety. So I lose my train of thought. And sometimes I don't sound too coherent. So, because I forget what I'm saying, because I'm really experiencing severe cognitive issues because of depression. So she emailed me the email, and it was a DOJ email to submit my story. You guys, they didn't use my story. Chris Lodgeson is the guy at CJAC. CJAC is supposed to be an individual company or agency that's supporting and promoting reparations. Okay, and let me explain to you guys. You need to understand it's Black people. This is the Black people. Everybody else, you could, it is not, I'm not trying to exclude you. I just need Black people to know and understand. A lot of times we have so much on our plate, we don't have the time, the energy, and the bandwidth to research everything or have a knowing about everything. And that's part of the reasons why these people play in our face. So Chris Lodson, Lodgson, used to do the readings, okay, for the report. So there was a California Reparations Task Force, and they were charged with researching the harms to descendants of chattel slavery. So they document all the things that happened to us through Jim Crow, slavery, the sundown towns, the black codes. And I want to say this to you: this Chris Lodgson, he shared his background. He explained that he was jobless prior to getting hired by CJAC. And if I remember correctly, I might be not remembering correctly because I do have cognitive issues. And it was back probably in 2022 when I heard him. I used to go and listen and save the recordings, okay? Because remember, I'm doing Reunite Sandy Speaks, so I was saving the recordings so I can use that information to further demonstrate the unequal violation of the 14th Amendment. And so and this is important, he stated that he didn't have a job, that CJAC gave him a job, but for CJAC, he wouldn't have a job. Okay, Camilla Moore is the co-chair, and she is actually a entertainment attorney, okay? And I guess Gavin Newsom picked her, okay? Anyway, I want to say this intelligently and not beat around the bush. And you guys, if you hear me being delayed, if you see I sound a little crazy, it's because it hurts me to say it. So my mind kind of goes blank. But so I got involved or start following this reparations agenda. Then when I submitted my story, Chris and Camilla started acting strange. Chris unfollowed me on Twitter. Camilla Moore blocked me. And it's because my oppressor right here, his name is Judge Lawrence Riff. Judge Lawrence Riff did a no bail order. The California Reparations Task Force submitted to him a request for no bail. And see, I'm offended by this because what they're insinuating is that Black people are the ones who commit crimes, okay? But Judge Lawrence Riff, he made this no cash bail order, and he did it, you guys, to deflect from what he did to me. I'm on video number 8 for my story. I got a long story of the dark, horrible things the state of California did to me. And this man right here, Judge Lawrence Riff, and this woman right here, Judge Sarah Heidel, and this judge right here, Judge Bruce Awasaki, used to be the director of the ACLU. Family, I need y'all to pull up and I need y'all to follow the story and let me show you what's happening. Okay? And so they start being strange to me. And so I'm in this space online where it's a reparations like community. And I'm like, y'all, they're not gonna pass it. They playing with us. They playing with us. The family wouldn't listen to me. The family thought I was making it up. It's one girl in here who I like. I ain't gonna say your name, girl, because I know you told me keep your name out your mouth. She always wanted to have Camilla's back. I told her 2 years ago Camilla Moore was gonna be the fall guy. She came from my whole neck. Okay, I don't know if y'all know about this reparation thing. I'm gonna tell you a story if y'all don't know. People who are watching probably already know what happened in California. Okay. Anyway, I don't know to tell you what happened with the bill or to explain the importance of it. Okay. First, they did a thing about making it for descendants of child slavery only, right? I was cautioned by that when I was listening to the hearings when the Jamaican guy on the reparations task force was the one that helped approve that. He was writing of the verbiage. I was a bit alarmed because he's an immigrant. Not saying anything to Black immigrants. I love y'all too. But it was alarming. Just certain things about it was alarming. Okay. Anyway, they would never make it about the harms today. Okay. When I submitted my story to Camilla Moore, I DM'd DM Chris about it. If I could find the DMs, I'll show you. I'll put them in here. He stopped following me. He stopped answering me. Okay. So let me explain because I know I kind of may sound crazy right now. I wanted them to use my story in the study, in the report. My story demonstrates government-sanctioned anti-Black hate crimes committed by the government, by the judicial system, by law enforcement, by agencies like Commission on Judicial Review, on the people who are responsible for the transcripts, or the people who do the, what do you call the people who do the transcripts? I'm so sorry, you guys. My mind, I really lose it. The court reporter. Oh, in my story, I'm on part 8 right now. Y'all watch my story. It's gonna get dark and deep, and I'm going to demonstrate how California is anti-Black, how they harm me only because I'm a Black woman who was married to a white man. And I need y'all feeling some way about the white man, you want to talk some shit, go ahead, have at it. I receive it. But it's an opportunity. Let me explain to you why it's an opportunity. This is not a private organization. This is the government. This is a dispute between a Black woman and a white male, an abusive white male who was married for over 23 years. I demonstrate abuse in everything that he did to me, and he weaponized my Blackness. Judge Lawrence Riff, Judge Bruce Awasaki, and Judge Sarah Hydell, and there are other, the law enforcement, City of Industry Sheriff Department, Torrance Police Department. I can demonstrate government-sanctioned anti-Black terrorism, not last week, not last month, not 1965, today. Okay? By the state of California. Camilla Moore of the Reparations Task Force, the co-chair of the Reparations Task Force, she blocked me, you guys. She would block me and unblock me. And we would be in rooms together. And I made it clear how I felt about her. And everybody in the room was like bugged out. They call me Judge. They call me Judge Sarah Hydell, this racist woman. They call me Judge, right? I'm a 20th, but they call me Judge. I ain't mad. And I was like not so nice to her. And they all bugged out. They were like, oh, snap. Because I'm not like that. I don't show up like that. She Judas. She has the opportunity to help Black people. And she's a party to the harm of Black people. I'm not going to get too deep on that. Maybe I'm going to talk about that briefly, you guys, okay? But what they ended up doing, you guys, I'm going to tell you this. They end up sharing the story about Paul and Tanisha Austin, who was able to show discrimination by the appraisal industry. Now, they came for the appraisal industry, okay? They're showing that people perceive Black people in a negative connotation, that they were even willing to appraise their home at a lower value, trying to hinder Black people from obtaining what is equitable and fair. Okay? This is California, y'all. This is California. And it's a great thing that they highlighted that. But they chose not to highlight my story. They chose not to highlight my story because I'm a victim of anti-Black hate crimes by the state of California. The main man, Judge Lawrence Riff. I'm gonna tell you more about this Judge Lawrence Riff. The main man, Judge Lawrence Riff, who harmed me, they're in bed with the California Reparations Task Force. He submitted the no cash bail. They submitted a request for no cash bail. I don't want to go too deep into that. But what I'm trying to explain to you, that they're all in it together. Let me explain to you where this reparation task force is, this whole idea about reparations. And you guys, you can, however you perceive me, whatever you think about me, I want you to own it. I want you to say it. Because I accept who I am and what I am. I love Black people like I love air. And I have been traumatized. And I believe this is my God's purpose. This is my purpose. I knew, you guys, I grew up in New York City. I used to watch the Brady Bunch, and I used to always have this thing about California. I always had this thing about California. I'm a Cancer son. So I always had a knowing that it's my purpose to do something for humanity. But it's my purpose to do something for my people. And all these horrible things happen to me because it's going to give me the opportunity to make my family whole, to liberate my people and make change for them. So let me tell you where I'm at with this. Okay, so I want to explain to you about this whole reparations thing. And family, you got to be open-minded. Everybody in this space know I'm telling the truth. They fought me for 2 years. I told them to come for Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom wanted to be the president. Gavin Newsom did a shadow campaign. They always was planning to get rid of Joe Biden. Okay, I don't know if you're a Democrat, or you're involved in government. You know the Democrats are very crafty and very like plan and strategy. Okay, they're very good at planning and strategizing. And this is done if you work in corporate America, or you work in a job where you have planning for like weeks and years on end. This was a plan. And let me explain to you why the plan came, why this reparations thing became a thing. First of all, Black people, and you got to be honest, okay? This is hard for me because I'm a glass half full kind of person. I don't like to think about negative things. One guy said, "Oh, this is a wake-up call to you," and I just stopped in my track, and I wanted to rebut what he said, but it was a wake-up call to me. I've always known that we wasn't equal in this country. I've always been a victim of anti-Black hate crimes and throughout my life, just like anybody else. But I'm like Kanye West, okay? I was like, keep it moving. Like, I always thought to have positive thoughts. Of course, I've had things happen to me. I'm a Black person in America, but I was glass half full, and I didn't want to focus on negative stuff. And still today, this is very hard for me to have this conversation because this is me acknowledging that we are harmed in this country. After 400 years of them being here, a whole party leveraging our Blackness and our pain. And why in the hell after 400 years we're not equal, we're not free? How after 400 years the sheriff department, sheriff people, or police or law enforcement are killing Black men, strangling them, tasing them, accidentally shooting them, shooting Black women? I'm gonna tell you about this Judge Lawrence Riff, okay? So what happened, you guys? Stacey Abrams, my daughter is a liberal, she's a liberal Democrat, like she's a liberal feminist, that's what I call my baby. She's like, "Mommy, Stacey Abrams registered 750,000 voters." My daughter's like, she's a liberal feminist. I raised a liberal feminist. And I'm proud of my baby. And she's like, yes, she signed that she registered 750,000 voters. They turned Georgia blue. Then she ran. But this is where she went wrong. First of all, when they asked her about reparations, she put her nose up to it. She was talking about, I think, about Mexican people. I think she did some big. You guys, this is when I'm just kind of new in this social justice reparation space. So I'm just learning stuff. I'm coming out and really know what's going on. Y'all can talk about me if you want to. Go ahead and talk about me. But I'm really not knowing. And the Black men is like, we're not voting. We're not going to vote. We're not voting. And Stacey Abrams put her nose up to Black men. And you guys are going to say, I don't know if this woman is gay or not, but I have a really good intuition. I had horrible things happen to me with this man that I was married to. But you guys, I ain't mad at men, okay? Some women who had a hard time in their life and relationships, they're angry with men. And I think that she put her nose up to Black men. And you guys, in her defense, I don't think it was just like, I don't like men. I think it was based on her life and her dealing with men. We're human, okay? We don't have biases. And so she visibly put her nose up to Black men. Black men didn't vote for her. There's a guy named Terrain. I don't know if you guys know Terrain. Maybe I'll find him, put him on here. He like I'm learning about Terrain. I think he's been in different like Black shows. He has some kind of on like public celebrity. I really don't know him that well. But I went into his space during 2022 and he said, we blaming Black men. I said, you blaming? This is me learning how my family or a party to the negative connotation of my people. I said, it's not a blame. You credit Black men for saying no. What the Black men were saying, you guys, they was like, we're going to do the couch. And let me tell you how I honestly felt. I was like, that's not going to help. If you don't vote for the other person, it doesn't, like, if you don't vote, it doesn't help. And the Black men were serious. Like, we not voting. We doing the couch. We're not voting. You guys, it made an impact. They were right. Because the Democratic Party really follows and does do their homework in terms of, polling and getting the idea of what's the consensus in the different communities. Black men, they didn't jump to Trump immediately. They said they were not going to vote. You know who also led them? Ice Cube. And you guys, I was like, what's the Ice Cube? What you talking about? Like, I'm going to tell y'all, I was on the other side of the fence the same way. I was like, what y'all talking about? Wait, what's going on? Ice Cube, are you getting paid? The Black men made a statement. And this one Black guy, I want to tell y'all his name. Because in my mind, I think, look, you guys, I think I'm pretty smart. And I was like, what you talking about? Y'all messing up. If you don't vote, it's not going to help. They was like, it's going to make a statement. And I'd be damned if it didn't. The Democratic Party became afraid. And that's how this whole reparation BS came about. Remember what I told you with the 5 pillars of reparation. If they do not include the 5 pillars of what I just said to you, it is not reparations. Okay? I'm following her on Instagram. She hasn't blocked me on Instagram.
But when election time comes around, basically you politicians will make a beeline to the Black church, but not in your white church on Sunday morning.
Well, Reverend Brown, I've probably spent as much time in your Black church as maybe even you have sometimes on occasion.
Well, because you know it's where the votes are, and that's where the voting population is.
I'm very familiar with your church. Now, what I want to know, though, without giving me political advice on where I should and shouldn't be.
No, I'm not giving you advice. I'm just stating the reality.
I want to answer the question, if you would, please.
But why don't you like the proposal?
Because it has become a laughing stock around this nation, and representatives of it have indicated it was not based on any formula, it was not thought out logically, so that we should not be teasing and tantalizing African Americans. We are in trouble in this city. We need action now. We've had far too many studies, too many analyses, too many suggestions, and if the board was serious about that, this past Tuesday, they would have, in principle, supported cash payments and suggesting a plan for payment, even though, as some say, we have a deficit, we can't do anything now. Well, deficits don't last always. And even in Germany, Germans pay by installment. I'm looking for, and the NACP is looking for, real action and not intentionality. We've talked too much about reparations. In fact, it was the NACP branch that introduced the idea in 2019. So we can't be like Jack and the Bear, making tracks, but getting nowhere. Even this U.S. Congress of this nation has not acted on reparations in principle, and 70% of the nation are against it. Now is the time for all fair-minded, informed, loving, just citizens to join us as African Americans and support us as we supported reparations for the Japanese and for the Jewish community. That's the bottom line issue. We are not against cash payments, but we want sincere action and not optics.
So you don't think this is a so sorry to interrupt, but you don't think this is a serious proposal by the Board of Supervisors?
It's not on the board what has happened. The board has not acted. It was a representative of the task force who threw out this number without any basis for it. And
okay, so you guys, I just put the video in of Amos Brown. That's who Amos Brown was. Okay? I want to make 2 points of this. This is who he was. And this is who he became. San Francisco had a reparation package to give $5 million to Black Americans. I'll link the video below because I did the video about it. And he barked about it. He barked about it because he knew that California Reparations Task Force was a ruse, that it wasn't real, that they were dangling his carrot to keep Black people on a Democrat ticket, you know, to get the Democratic vote from Black Americans. You guys, I'm telling y'all this. This is what happened, okay? These Black men and Black men, I love you. If you mad at me, you could leave a message. You don't even know I'm crazy about you, okay? I ain't want to talk some shit, but I ain't mad. You come mess with me, you'll see I love a Black man. My greatest accomplishment in this world was my birth and raising of a Black man. But for my Black son, I'd be out in the street homeless, destitute, crazy, or dead. My Black son I raised, okay? So, the 2 points I want to make about this. That's who Reverend Amos Brown was and who he became. And you guys, he became this person because he was up against a machine. I do have criticism of Camilla Moore, of Chris Lodgson, but you can call him them Judas, or we can be honest with ourselves and say that they're behaving and harming Black people because they're afraid that we won't win, that they won't stand up and speak out against it because we won't win. So you guys, it's a whole reparation theatrical theater going on, okay? And see, you guys know if you on Twitter with me, you know everybody on Twitter, they call me Judge. It's like, damn, Judge, you was right. Yo, they thought I was crazy. I told them 2 years ago to give Gavin Newsom the smoke, that he had this, presidential ambition, and my family don't even know what to do. They so scared. They was too scared to give him the smoke. They're like, oh, he doing this reparations thing. I said, you guys, Gavin Newsom got everything on his Twitter page except for Black people, the harm that goes on in California. He had the abortion, the gun rights. He in Florida. And so what happened, I'm going to tell you what happened with him. This is a plan of the Democratic Party. He's not cool with Kamala. He was doing the shadow campaign. If you guys follow Gavin Newsom, if you go on his Twitter, if y'all know what was going on, he was in Florida and another Republican state. He was doing a shadow campaign. And his reparations thing was a carrot to get Black people to know his name and say his name was associated with the reparations agenda. And then what happened, California called them on the carpet. Because I'm in New York and LA. California, beautiful. It's so much opportunity here. But it's in disarray because this man, Gavin Newsom, is a joke. You guys, I don't know if you know the story, But there was $28 billion went homeless. And they can't tell you what happened to the $28 billion. That's what Gavin Newsom is. And this whole reparations thing, it wasn't supposed to be Kamala. It was supposed to be Gavin Newsom. And he was going to get the black vote because he was dangling his carrot. So I don't know if y'all know what happened. They were supposed to put the motion for the legislation on the floor. And they didn't. They I don't know if y'all know the story, but I'm gonna put in some of the I'm gonna put a clip in of the video of what happened with the motion. Okay. And you guys, let me just say this to you. It was a ruse from the beginning. And how I discovered it is when Camilla Moore blocked me. Because she had no reason to block me, you guys. She was doing a whole reparations agenda and performative politics for years, for like 2 years, since 2022. I would make gifts with her. Like they would have her talking, and I made gifts with her, like, you know, little video clips. I supported her. I would retweet her. I had her back. I would go to Chris's meetings where he would talk about the report, and then he unfollowed me and he stopped answering me, and she blocked me. And so, you guys, I want you to understand, my story demonstrates anti-Black hate crimes to a descendant of child slavery that is government-sanctioned terrorism by the judges, the lawyers, law enforcement. You follow my story, you're gonna see all the people. Let me explain to you. This man I married makes over $250,000 a year. I've been homeless since they broke in my home and stole my house in 2023. They put me 2020. September 23rd, 2020, sheriff deputies broke in my house and put me in the street and stole my home and sold it and gave the proceeds to this white man in the state of California, a no-fault community property state. And the people who harm me are in bed with the California Reparations Task Force. And so let me say this to you. I want you to explain. I want to explain to you. So they chose to include the story about the appraisal company discriminating against these Black couple, but they didn't show. You guys just follow my story. They stole my money. They deemed me as an abuser when I submitted letters dating back to 1993, where this man is apologizing for his abuse. I'm not gonna go too deep in there because you need to watch that on this channel and watch all my parts, okay? So the Reparations Task Force, family, there's no real agenda, and I'm appalled. So I don't know if you guys knew what happened. I'm gonna put the video in here after this clip. But now Republicans are trying to get on the this reparations ruse, okay? Because they see, okay, we dangling this carrot for Black people, and they going along with it. They're no wiser. They're none the wiser. So now Republicans are like, the Republican motion, and the guy Isaac, the assembly member, he wouldn't let him by. My friend is running against Isaac now. This guy that I know. It's politics, y'all. And I'm like, I don't have the stomach for it. But what I want to say, you guys, I do believe in reparations. I believe America has broken their promise to Black people under the 14th Amendment. I think we need to use California as a test state. And I was so mad at everybody online because Gavin Newsom, he dangled that carrot. And I told them, I said, y'all need to give him the smoke. Oh, we're not going to give it to him. He the person, he being nice. He trying to fund reparations. And this is my family not knowing how you get stuff done. Let me say this to you because I don't want to keep too long. Let me stop for a second.
Mr. Essayli, we are not at that item at the moment. We are still working on the concurrence list.
Pick it up.
We're currently not on that item. We're currently working on the concurrence list.
So will we be getting to that item?
Well, we're currently working on the concurrence list at the moment.
Well, I'll make a motion that we take it up now.
Is there, Mr. Essayli is asking to suspend the rules to take it up. Is there a second? No second, motion.
Second.
Was there a second? Nope, there's no motion. We're gonna go ahead and move to item number 109, AB 544.
So this is Assemblyman Mr. Bryan. He's mad I brought up the reparations vote. So he's preventing me from speaking. And he's trying to block my access to it. Why are you so upset?
You vote for 3 strikes. You put black folks in prisons, but
here
now
for
you
3
want to be a
strikes.
reparations person.
Well,
But you won't vote
have
for the bill.
We should.
I
we should
supported the
have a
bill all
conversation.
session.
Then bring the bill.
Will you vote for the bill, Mr.
Bring the
Essayli?
bill.
Will you vote for the bill?
Bring it up.
Will you vote for reparations?
Bring it
I
up.
would love it.
Bring it up.
Let's vote for reparations
Bring
together.
it up. Bring it up.
You in, Bill?
Bring it up.
I didn't think so.
Bring it up. I'll vote for it. Bring it up. I'll vote for it.
Okay, you guys, this video is already like 44 minutes long, so let me just wrap this up. Okay, so the reparations, to recap, the reparations, the all agenda throughout the country is a ruse for the Democratic Party. They're trying to get black people to stay on a Democratic plantation, and they're doing it because black men, and I think black women also probably was the wiser as well, but for me, my experience, what I know, it was black men. It was like, we not voting. And I don't know, it was Ice Cube that started it, that put that bug in their ear, but it probably was just like what do you call it? You know, like what is it called? Oh, you guys, I'm sorry, on my mind. I want to say something storm, but it's just like when things just happen, the perfect storm, like different things were going on in the country. Stacey Abrams was putting her nose up. And you guys, I need y'all to understand the importance of Stacey Abrams. Stacey Abrams alone, she registered 750,000 voters. So in that population, she turned Georgia blue. It was red. In that population, she registered, they recognized, so different things were happening, you guys. I was like new to this political thing. I'm learning about it. And I was getting stuff passively. Because when people complain, you guys, I'm just like, I don't want to be a complainer. I just want to get it done, get action. I want to know what's happening. I don't want to like point fingers and blame, but they were blaming her and saying this, that, and the third about her. And I heard her speak. I saw her do a video, interview on Earn Your Leisure. I was like, that's a smart black woman who's multi-talented. I was like, well, y'all coming for this black lady? But then this is what happened. Because how I knew, because in Terrain Space, he was like, they trying to blame us, y'all. I didn't even know what they was talking about. And as thing has gone on, I recognized this is what it was. Gavin Newsom was supposed to be in Kamala's place, Kamala. And you guys, I'm not going to go into this too deep because people in California may know about this, but this video is not just for, it's just other people out of the state are watching. But this is specifically for California, and my goal and my purpose, I have a whole agenda. I am going to demonstrate that California is anti-black based on what they did with me. I'm going to file a federal lawsuit. And so just like in the case of Kyle Rittenhouse, his case set precedents. Ben Crump never makes it about race. Ben Crump always settled out of court. He doesn't never make it about race. You're going to hear me talk about that. If you want to know about that, watch my videos on Reunite Sandy's Peace because I out Ben Crump, okay? Family. Nobody going to save us. You can't expect the government, the other man, no one's going to save us, okay? We have to save us. And family, I love you so much. I promise you, y'all come rock with me. We're going to get this done. I need you to understand I need help in sharing my story and getting legal assistance because I want to set precedents. And so it's not probable that we will get reparations via a legislation. Okay? That's not going to happen, y'all. we have to get legislations through a judiciary. Okay, we're going to show the weighted evidence, and weighted evidence is going to demonstrate that America has broken their promise to Black people under the 14th Amendment. See, everyone keeps talking about slavery, and they purposely say, "Oh, we're going to do this for reparations for slavery," right? Field dollar 15. That's what I think some people use. And yes, this what do you call it? This, we were branded with the scarlet letter during slavery. This negative connotation of Negro people began with slavery. They began abusing us, making us second class citizens. The 14th Amendment was enacted to ensure that we are equal in this country, that newly freed slaves, I think it was 1866, were going to be treated equally. And family, I don't know what your education is. You paid attention in school in the 5th grade. We're not equal. The 14th Amendment was it was a promise that Negro people, Black Americans, were going to be equal. Yes, it's from slavery. But if you do reparations only based on slavery, it's too many different conflicts. Chicago is already being challenged and being sued. What you demonstrate is the Bill of Rights, the civil rights, that we demonstrate beyond a reasonable doubt that Black people are not equal. And I don't want to go into that too deeply. I do that on Where United Standing Speaks about the mental health, all the different aspects of it. And family, I need you to learn to work together. I need you to learn to work cohesively, not think, well, that ain't got nothing to do with me. That's in California. What happened to her ain't got nothing to do. No, family. That's how they're winning. Because of the division. How things work, you do a test state. I want to go into when the lady didn't get off the bus. Like it's the perfect storm. You do a test state. We're going to show, as go California, as go the rest of the nation. California already acknowledged and apologized for slavery. My case is going to demonstrate that there is still currently government-sanctioned racism, anti-Black hate. Now follow my story and see what they did to me. I didn't do anything. And I want to demonstrate that they rather harm me, the judges, the lawyers, the Commission on Judicial Performance, the people who police the court reporters. All these people continue to harm me. It's more. You're going to see my story is dark. Instead of make this white man I'm married who makes over $250,000 do what the state of California says. Family Code 2000. Wait till you see what they did to me. And so for me, it's giving us opportunity. I believe in turning lemons into lemonade. When I get this federal lawsuit and I win, because I'm going to win, because I'm going to show beyond a reasonable doubt, this was racist. This was anti-Black. I'm going to show that California is guilty of discrimination by the government. And it'll be the beginning. Some of y'all saying, oh, we're never going to get reparations. We can get it, y'all. Being in these spaces and learning and thought, we're due all 5 pillars. But you got to do it smart. You can't expect that all these different Congress people, you guys, I cannot get into the politics shit. Like, I left corporate America because of the politics. Politics is corruption. It's some bull ass, okay? Is it probable that you're going to get all these senators and congressmen and different people to agree on reparations? It's not probable, y'all. If I go and I sue the state of California and I demonstrate beyond a reasonable doubt that all this happened to me because I'm a Black woman, it's going to set precedents. And it'll be one, and you guys, when one story comes out, another black woman in Florida, in Oregon, in Maine, she gonna say, oh shit, they did the same thing to me. I got you, family. I promise I got you. I just need you to follow along. Listen, I'm gonna go, but I want to say this to you. I put the thing in here about Gavin Newsom, not Gavin Newsom, but Dr. Amos Brown. You guys, all the people on the Reparations Task Force, I make phone calls to. None of them have responded to me, okay? And I've been known, one of my girlfriends said, you keep messing with your enemy. You guys, I'm empathetic, and I try to understand a person's position, okay? Y'all see Amos Brown call Biden out, right? Then you see who he was. That second video, San Francisco was trying to give Black Americans $5 million. It ended up falling through, but he was barking at it. Why does he go on TV and go against a city that's going to make people whole? You see his reasoning, some BS. And you guys, Reverend Amos Brown, if you see this, I ain't mad at you. I love you like I love air. I see who you was and who you became, because they beat you down. I know they beat you down because they beat me the fuck down. I don't sleep. I'm a fucking mess. This is what these people did to me. And what I'm trying to say to you guys, they turned this man, Amos Brown, one who's going to call his Senator Joe Biden out, to being one of the slave catchers. So, family, a lot of it, specifically in California, is black people working against black people. And I'm going to show you. It's people, judges, people that are party to hurting me. And family, I call it Jim Judas, but everybody ain't strong like me. Everybody don't have my will. Everybody don't have my integrity. You know? So we can, I have mixed emotions about them and how they harm black people. I'm embarrassed by it. But now I serve a good God, and I know everybody don't have my strength. I've been a leader my whole life. When I was a young girl in New York, I bullied the bully. I was the one that people came to when they came to school or whatever, and somebody was bullying, and they would come and tell me. And people still do that. I didn't mind my business, y'all. People still do that. One of my friends once, like, she came with my DM, like, she talking mean to me. And y'all, I will defend the underdog. I need to mind my business sometimes, though. So, my knee-jerk reaction is to take up for the underdog. And you know what? It's my pleasure and it's an honor. I'm hurting, y'all. I'm going through some shit, like some serious shit. But I see the end of the rainbow. I see how all this hate and this harm and this abuse and this trauma, where it's going to take my people. When I get my people where they need to be, living in harmony, all the pain, hurt, and depression and sadness was worth it. Anyway, family, y'all come fuck with me. All right? Come fuck with me.